Hello and welcome everyone. We wanted to give you a few extra minutes just in case you had some issues logging on. So welcome to Tea and Trumpets, where each year we take time to celebrate all of you, both our students and our donors. And first I would like to introduce myself. I'm the newest and proudest member of Eastern Oregon University's advancement team. My name is Emily Adams, and I started as executive director in early February, and I'm extremely grateful and excited to be given this opportunity to join EOU and represent this great university and community. So it is my privilege to be your host for this afternoon's virtual event. Hopefully everyone has their tea. So I'd like to thank you all for attending this year. We know video conferences have become a regular part of our lives, so we're grateful to have you join us online and participate in this important event. So let's all hope that next year's Tea and Trumpets will be in person. So as many of you know, this event is designed to connect our students with the people who support their education through their generous philanthropy. And so today you'll hear from a few of our scholarship recipients about the impact these scholarships make in their lives. The EOU Foundation has been holding this event annually for more than 20 years as a way to say thank you, and perhaps just as importantly for conversations to take place where we explore why we do what we do, as well as to inspire students to continue to reach further dreams and for donors to continue to support this fantastic institution and its students. So before we move on with the program, I would like to take a moment to recognize some honored guests who are in attendance today. We extend our thanks to President Insco for joining us today, and to all the members of the EOU Board of Trustees, EOU Foundation Trustees, and Alumni Association Board of Directors for their ongoing service. EOU Foundation Board President Mark Pearson has a few words for us. Mark became a foundation trustee in 2015 and joined the board of directors just 2 years ago. 2 years later. He served on the finance committee and as vice president until he was elected president of the board last year. So let's please welcome Mark.
Thank you, Emily. And thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. I hope to share with you a little insight into the irreplaceable work the EOU Foundation does for our university. You'll be hearing stories directly from some of our students in a few minutes. After you hear them, I'm sure you will agree that the EOU Foundation is integral to the success of Eastern Oregon University. The funds housed in the foundation, which many of you in this room contribute to, directly impact our students and help increase the recruitment and retention of our students. Our students are the lifeblood of our university. The EOU Foundation has made providing scholarships for new and returning students one of its top priorities. The scholarship funds help students realize their dreams of a college education. And many of our graduates work in their own communities to build businesses, teach schools, serve in community organizations, and enhance the quality of life in many ways. In doing this, they give back much more than they have received. The foundation currently stewards approximately $18 million of assets earmarked for student and university support, and also for it awards more than 200 scholarships totaling over $800,000 annually. With state funding cuts, this private support is more critical than ever to our current and future success and the success of our students. The donors in this room today all make a significant impact on our students, this great university, and to our region. On behalf of the EOU Foundation Board of Directors, I would like to say a big thank you to you all. Thank you. Emily.
Great, thank you, Mark. It is really true that these students give back to their communities tenfold when they're empowered with access to education. So this is really great. So without further ado, I know you've all probably been eager to hear from our students. So let me introduce our first student, Aspen Berkmeyer. Aspen is an ecological biology student from Enterprise in Wallowa and has received the Maybelle Clark McDonald Scholarship and Denver Ginsey Scholarship. So Aspen, please go ahead and share your story with us.
Sorry about that. The light shut off for a second. Like Emily said, I'm Aspen and I'm a junior here at EOU majoring in ecological biology. I did grow up in Wallowa County, Oregon. My family owns and operates a pretty big cow-calf operation up there. So I grew up 35 miles out of town, in the middle of nowhere, no close neighbors, no kids, to play with. And so I was really immersed in nature and the environment at a really young age. And I think that's what initially instilled an interest in me for biology. Kind of a funny story. So when I was 8, I begged my dad for a puppy, begged and begged and begged. And finally one day he brought me home in his saddlebag after he got home from riding, this little tiny coyote pup. So my first dog was a coyote. So I was a barefoot little girl running around with a coyote pup. Some people probably think I grew up pretty feral, and I guess it's kind of true, but it was a lot of fun. But anyways, so just growing up where I did really instilled in me a love for ecology, and I was really excited to learn that EOU had a program like that. Another reason I chose ecological biology was because growing up on a cattle ranch, I saw a huge disconnect between livestock producers and conservationists, people from the Forest Service or ODF&W. And I really felt like I grew up in a very unique situation where I was passionate not only about wildlife and wild places, but also about livestock and ranching and agriculture as well. And I think that I really saw an opportunity that I could make a huge difference choosing the degree and majoring in ecology, because I think that rural places, and especially Eastern Oregon, definitely needs more people who can not only advocate and understand ranchers, but also work to preserve the wildlife and the places that we have here. So that's my ultimate career goal, is to be able to just be someone who can not only be a conservationist, but also work to help the local ranch and livestock owners in our area. And I can definitely say that I don't think I would still be at EOU and pursuing my educational goals without scholarships. There was a time where we had some pretty serious family emergencies on the ranch, and I was driving up there 2.5 to 3 hours to the ranch every weekend, and sometimes in the evenings after school. And it was placing a huge financial burden on me, paying for gas, driving back and forth. I had to have my pickup repaired twice. So it got to the point where I wasn't sure if I could help my family and continue going to school. So receiving a foundation scholarship was honestly an answer to prayers. And I'm so, so grateful for the opportunity to apply for scholarships and end up receiving one. And I think that I can speak not only on behalf of myself, but for a lot of fellow students at EOU who have had similar experiences. Another thing I think that's really special about scholarships is that there's a lot of young people right out of high school, or maybe even a little bit older, who are very, very passionate about a field, but they may not have the financial abilities to pay for school on their own, or they don't have parents or family members who can help them out. And so scholarships are really what give them the opportunity. This may seem a little bit blunt, but I've seen a lot of students who have just kind of had money handed to them, whether it's been from a parent or a family member, and they're just at college going through the motions. They're not really passionate about what they're doing. They're just, here because somebody paid for it. And I think those are the people, they're just not as passionate about their field. So it's not only beneficial for the students to receive scholarships, but for everyone in the community as well, because some of those students who wouldn't have been able to go to college, without the help of scholarships, but are very, very passionate about what they're going into, are going to be better out in the community, and they're going to give back a lot more than, some of those students that are just there to go through the motions because someone paid for it. So I'm just eternally grateful for, the help and the support that I've received, not only from scholarship donors, but from faculty and professors and everyone at EOU. It's really been a blessing, just all the support and love that I felt like I've received the last 3 years. So on behalf of myself and, countless other EOU students that are able to be here today, I truly say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Aspen. I loved your coyote pup story and
Thanks.
the rest
His
of
name
your
was
story.
Wiley.
I love it. That's great.
Thanks.
Thank you. So next, I'd like to welcome Lewis Wright. Lewis is from LeGrand. He's majoring in molecular biology and is a current EOU men's soccer player. Lewis received the Ted and Mary Brown Scholarship, the Joy Veach Dobbin and William Dobbin Scholarship, and the Lee and Beth Insco Scholarship. So Lewis, go ahead and share your story with us.
Hi, I'm really excited when Tyler asked me to speak at this event. I went to it last year, and it was really awesome hearing some of the students' stories, and I always felt like I had something to share. So why I chose EOU? I actually chose EOU because of its great science program. I'm intending on applying to dental school in the fall of 2022, and EOU's science department is very good, which should really increase my chances of being accepted. I also chose EOU because of its location. I love the outdoor activities that LeGrand offers. I also enjoy the community here. I always have. I grew up here, and I enjoy how I can be involved in it. EOU is also very affordable, which is important to me as well as a lot of other students, especially because I'm going to be facing some tremendous debt upon graduation of dental school, and not having to worry about interest on undergrad is really important. I also had an opportunity to play soccer here, which was an amazing experience, and I really wouldn't trade it for anything. So upon meeting my professors at EOU, I knew I made the right decision. They're very professional, knowledgeable, and from my experience, very reasonable with their students. And the kind of relationship I have with my professors is not something that I was really expecting, but it's something I'm very grateful for. I also feel for the younger students who haven't really had this opportunity yet because of COVID, but I'm really hopeful that on things returning to normal, they will be given the opportunity back and will take full advantage of it, because EOU's faculty is, from my experience, really amazing. EOU also has a comparatively very low tuition, but even so, without help from the EOU Foundation, I would not be graduating without debt. Being debt-free after completing a bachelor's degree in a difficult concentration is not something I take lightly. It's not something I take for granted. My wife and I have decided to spend a portion of this summer in the Dominican Republic on a medical mission trip. Providing healthcare for underprivileged areas is something that we're both very passionate about. And with your help, I'm able to take the time to serve without worrying about the pressure of paying off my student debt as soon as I can before entering dental school. I speak for myself, and I speak for many, many others. And I say that your generosity by the EOU Foundation has made our lives tremendously easier. Those of us that receive scholarship donations are at a distinct advantage. We can get a head start on life and a head start on giving back to our community. Thank you so very much for these opportunities. With your help, they wouldn't even be on the table. EOU is a wonderful school. It advocates for its students, and you guys by the EOU Foundation to play a big part in it. So thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. That was great. Great to hear your story. And best of luck to you this summer, you and your wife. So next, I'd like to welcome Alexa Jamison. Alexa is a junior who comes to us from Caldwell, Idaho, and is an English and history major. She has received the Jean McKenzie Scholarship. So Alexa, the floor is all yours.
Hi, like Emily said, I'm Alexa Jamison, and I'm double majoring in English and history with the hopes of becoming a middle school teacher. There are a handful of reasons why I chose EOU, including the small class sizes, the education program, the lower cost, and the proximity to my hometown. But above all of these reasons, I felt that EOU was the place that would let me grow as a person. And so I decided that this was the place I wanted to be. I was originally an elementary ed major, but switched to English and history because I wanted to teach middle school and felt that that was the place that I could make a difference. Kind of a little anecdote. I guess worked at a school in Caldwell called Elevate Academy for the last 2 summers, and I helped with the buildup of the school. It is a school for students that come from, I guess, crappy home lives, to say, and don't get the experience or the love that they need to thrive. And I've seen kind of the worst and best situations from those kids, and it kind of gave me the push in the right direction that I knew that that's what I wanted to do, was provide something to those students that I know they don't get anywhere else. So I decided to switch my major and become an English and history so that I can pursue education afterwards. Many of the ideas and experiences that I have learned in classes have prepared me. So the more classes I take, the more prepared I feel every day. And from those, I have also gained a deeper passion for teaching, but utilized my time to become a part of the student government body on campus as well. So I joined our student body, ASUU government, as a justice and then a senator. And then this last year, I acted as chair for the Student Affairs Committee. And then I was recently elected as the student body president for this upcoming year. So I have also grown as a leader. And without these scholarships, I wouldn't be able to be here because I'm paying for college by myself out of my pocket with my own money. I don't have anyone else to help. And these scholarships really help with the burden of a double major who is heavily involved in student government. So I am excited to be able to focus on my school and not on where I'm going to get the money to pay for school. So thank you for providing me with the opportunity to pursue my dreams.
That's great. Thank you so much, Alexa. And again, thank you to all of our many donors who are making these student success possible. These are really inspiring stories to hear. So we do have more students coming up, but first I would like to welcome a couple of special guests here, James and Tracy Gorham. James was born and raised here locally in the Grand Ronde Valley and graduated from EOU in 1995. He's a licensed physical therapist at Mountain Valley Therapy here in La Grande, where he is also partner and CEO. Tracy has been living in the Valley for more than 20 years now and is a physical therapist assistant at Mountain Valley. So James and Tracy donate annually to provide scholarship opportunities for EOU students, and they are here to tell us a little bit about themselves and why they give in support of our students. So welcome, James and Tracy. And first off, I'd just like to thank you personally for everything that you do for EOU. And we would love to hear a little bit about the scholarship that you support and the inspiration that's behind that.
Yeah, thank you, Emily, very much. Tracy and I luckily have had the opportunity to have EOU students here in our clinic that job shadow, that are looking to go on to PT school and as part of the application process. And we just were always very impressed with the students that we had here, their knowledge, the professionalism. They just carried themselves very well. And so when it came time, when we decided we wanted to donate and start a scholarship, we just knew that we wanted it to be at EOU, and we wanted to be in the exercise science department. Way back in the day when I graduated, it was a physical education department, but we wanted it to be in that field. We've enjoyed the students we've had here. We've actually hired some of them as aides. They've been some of our best employees. It's been a lot of fun to see them go on to PT school and OT school. And it's great to see the reputation that EOU has developed with sending kids on to graduate school, specifically PT school. In my 14 years here, I imagine we've probably had more than 15 students, aides that have worked for us that have gone on to PT school. So it's been a really rewarding experience. We're sad to see them go, but we're always excited to see them move on to that next step in life. So, when we were able to donate and start that scholarship, it was just a way to continue on helping those students reach their dreams.
That's great. That's great to hear. And so, James, you're also a member of the Foundation Board of Directors. So why did you decide to get involved in this way? And I guess, how has it been meaningful for you?
Yeah, so I think Mark and I started about right around the same time. I think it's been about 5 years or so on the board, and came on as vice president this last year. And I think for me, I moved back here in 2007. And just kind of at that time, just in the first few years here, there was a lot of, as everybody knows, some of those financial struggles that EOU was having. And so I just, I've gotten to know, I've known Tom Insko, the president, most of my life. And I just saw as he started getting involved and then became president, just felt like it was something that I wanted to get involved with as well, and just be a part of helping EOU.
Great. Yeah, it's kind of amazing to think that some of the students that we're hearing from today could, someday be giving back the same way that you guys have. And so what kind of impact or legacy are you interested in leaving?
Yeah, as being a scholarship recipient myself, I think I took for granted back then the opportunity, like as Lewis said, of getting through undergraduate without any loans, without any debt. And so I think I didn't realize that at that time, what that meant. And so, as I realize that now, I really felt important for me, and Tracy and I talked about just giving back to the university and making that possible. It would not have been possible for me to go to school and to have the career I've had without the help of the donors like we have today. So we felt it was really important to pay that back, or pay it forward, so to speak, to other students. And again, choosing a field or a scholarship, working towards the field that we are both in, just felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Tracy, any thoughts or?
Well, I'm glad that I can give the scholarships to students, and that irks my daughter that I don't give her money, so.
We just found out that the scholarship recipient this year was one of our daughter Lindsay's classmates. So we were going to tease her and tell her we decided to help out with her college instead of our daughters. So.
We liked her a little bit more than her, so we don't like.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's great to hear. Well, we thank you for everything that you do. So.
Oh, and I did want to say also, when you were talking about being on the board, it's great to see Aspen and Carly. They the small schools here in the Valley. I grew up and graduated from Imbler, and so it's great to see the students from our Valley here, and the small schools represented. I know there's always that feel like you need to, if you grew up here, you need to go away and go to school. But with the university we have, it's just, we're very lucky to have EOU here and to be close to home. And like they said, it's affordable. You get a great degree, a great education without having to take on debt. So it's good to see them as recipients.
Yeah, I agree. And as an outsider coming in, I'm really loving the sense of community that's here, and what you just talked about, James, and the passion that lies behind EOU. So I agree. So thank you so much, James and Tracy.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we'll hear from a few other students. Our next student speaker is Brianna Hernandez. Brianna is an elementary education major from Milton Freewater, and she's received the Ogston Jones Scholarship and the Joy Veach Dobbins Scholarship. So please go ahead and share your story with us, Brianna.
Thank you, Emily. So thinking about the beginning of 2020 brings back strong memories like gathering with family and friends, helping students in the classroom, and feeling excited about ringing in a new year. Sadly, I also remember how my feelings changed to fear and confusion. I constantly felt like peace was just beyond my reach. As a young girl, I faced challenges with family adversity. At home, I felt alone and misunderstood. And at school, I did not feel comfortable telling my teachers about my stress at home. My parents and I had a broken relationship. I did not know what it was like to have someone care for who I was or how I was feeling. Last year brought back familiar feelings. I lost the opportunity to be at school with my peers and work with younger students. I knew that for many children, school is the only safe place they have. Their teachers may be the one stable adult that they have. My experiences have compelled me to become a teacher so I can help kids who face similar problems. I have been lucky to have supportive teachers who have helped shape me into the person I am today. I am a proud, strong, and independent young woman who learned to persevere and to never give up. I have come to see firsthand how childhood trauma can be an educational barrier. I clearly understand the disadvantages of not having an education, which is why I'm proud to be a first-generation student. With my strong work ethic and passion for knowledge, pursuing a higher level of education will open doors and allow me to achieve my dream of being a teacher. I will never forget my personal experiences. I want my students to come into my classroom and feel welcomed, seen, and valued. I want my students to know that they were all created with talents and have the opportunity to be a world changer. I will support my students in their learning, just like my teachers did for me. EOU has given me the opportunity to not only better my learning as a future educator, but as a lifelong student and learner. I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. And donors, thank you for your investment on students like me. I genuinely appreciate the opportunity you are giving me to reach my full potential and achieve a higher level of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. That's great to hear. So next, I would like to welcome Ambrose Grief. Ambrose, and I apologize if it's Griff and not Grief. I did not clarify that beforehand, so I apologize, Ambrose.
It's actually Grief.
Grief, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Ambrose is a sophomore from LeGrand, majoring in math, and he received the James and Margaret Huber Scholarship and the Jean and Denver Ginsey Scholarship. So go ahead and take it away, Ambrose.
Okay, thanks, Emily.
Sure.
So yeah, I chose EOU because I've always loved Eastern Oregon. I actually was born in Boise, but we've been visiting, my family's been visiting LeGrand since I was like 7. And then finally, at long last, we moved here in about 2016. And 3 years ago, a few of my friends who were attending EOU told me about the EOU Eastern Promise program, which offers half-price credits to high school students. And they were really encouraging, and they had really liked taking classes here. And so over that summer, I studied as hard as I could so that I could place into calculus and take it with them because they were going to take that in the fall. And thankfully I was admitted, and it was really fun that first year. And then my second year, I began full-time classes. So now I'm in my second year of full-time classes and will hopefully graduate with a bachelor's in mathematics by the time I'm 19. So throughout my whole academic journey, one of the main things I've really liked about EOU, and one of the reasons I think I've done so well, is having a great relationship with my professors and with so many friends here. And I think that's been really important. I think it's generally underestimated how important it is to have a relationship with a teacher, especially in difficult subjects like math. And I think it's also really crucial to have, camaraderie with other students, that you can joke around with, study with, celebrate with when you do well on an exam, relate with, when you do badly on an exam. And really with almost every class I've taken, there's always been a few friends that I've had to do that with. And I think that's one of the big reasons why I really like EOU, and also just its location and just this whole entire community in general. And without receiving these EOU Foundation scholarships, I'm certain I would not be able to continue to take classes. So I'm very, very grateful for the financial support I received. My family's not really in a position to help me with college. So having people that are generous enough to donate money to someone they've never even met before really amazes me. And I'll never take it for granted because it's been such a gift. I don't think it should be underestimated how much even a smaller scholarship can help a struggling student. And I can personally testify that being the recipient of 2 scholarships had made my studies so much more enjoyable, and not having to worry about working or going into financial debt has been such a relief, especially taking upper level math classes and other science classes as well. So again, I'd really like to thank the donors for being generous enough to do this, and thank you for this opportunity to thank them.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Great to hear from you. So our last student today is Carly Whitten, who comes to us from Cove. Carly's a transfer student from Lane and Lynn Benton and majoring in education. Carly has received the Ogston Jones Scholarship. So Carly, go ahead and share your story with us.
Thank you. So like Emily said, my name is Carly Whitten and I am from Cove. I graduated in 2017. And as James mentioned before, I was one of those students who was like, no, I gotta get out of here. I do not want to stay in the Valley. I need to leave and figure out who I am. So I went all the way to the west side of the state and ended up in Eugene and went to Lane Community College first. So I'm well versed in colleges, 3 colleges in 4 years. So coming home to Eastern as a transfer student was an easy decision for me. I love the Valley. I love the people here, and Eastern has an amazing education program. It's highly regarded across the state, and I wanted to receive the best education possible. And as almost every single one of my fellow classmates have said, or fellow students have said, it's very affordable and there's amazing opportunities here. Eastern, being in such a small town, gives you great ties to the community as a whole. I know that personally. I'm an education major, an elementary education major. And so being able to work with some of the schools and being placed in their schools really builds that connection between me and the schools for maybe future jobs, or just knowing students and seeing them around the town is always really fun. And so having that community aspect and still being a college student is really amazing, and it's a unique experience to Eastern. I am also a first generation college student. So going to college has just been this whirlwind of confusion for me. I didn't know a lot. And so I knew that I needed to ask for help to pay for school, because I found myself working 2 jobs to try to pay for school because I had a goal to get through college debt free. And I didn't know how I was going to do that. And so someone advised me to look into the EOU Foundation and apply for scholarships. And so that's what I did. And I was lucky enough to receive one. And I actually got to meet her earlier this week to take a photo. And that was an amazing experience. I've never met someone who's actually given me a scholarship before. And so being able to meet her and thank her personally and take a photo with her was a very special opportunity that I'm not sure you would find at any other university. So that was really amazing. Eastern's professors, I know everyone has mentioned it before, but they're so relatable. Like, I transferred in, and within the first week of classes, every single one of my professors knew my name. And that was amazing to me because it's a university. It's not people say it's not supposed to be like that, but Eastern, that's just normal. And it just made it feel like home. And it's been an amazing experience. Being a teacher, I know how difficult it is for people to ask for help. Students don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. It's not that it's embarrassing, but it's just hard to do. And so having foundation donors just willingly wanting to help students just out of the kindness of their heart is truly amazing, because it makes it so much easier for us to ask for that help and to reach out, and because you guys want to see us succeed just as badly as we want to succeed. And realizing that through my 4 years of going to school is something that's very valuable and that I want to instill in my students when I have my own classrooms. So I just truly want to thank, my specific scholarship donor for the Austin Jones Scholarship, and also just everyone in general, because as Aspen said, we speak on behalf of all of the student body when we say this makes a difference. And we truly appreciate everything you guys do for us, because we probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today if it wasn't for your generosity. So we really appreciate it. And yeah, go Mounties.
Great. Thanks so much, Carly. Great story. So it's really an honor to hear from all of you. You guys are really obviously making an impact with what you are receiving. So, and thank you again to all of our donors that are gathered here and those everywhere who are making these student success possible. So I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now. And pretty grateful for everyone here. So I thought maybe we could take a minute to reflect together. So if you're watching with a partner or friend or even by yourself, and after hearing all these great stories, if you find the chat box there and option that's at the bottom of your screen, you can use the keyboard and maybe type in some thoughts about how you're feeling or what you're grateful for today. Just any type of thought that you might have regarding what you've heard and what you might be feeling at this time. So, and I will read a few of those as they come up. Other options maybe are some takeaways from today and our time together. I will go ahead and share myself. I loved hearing the relationships with the faculty and the staff that the students are encountering. For me, that's just really inspirational. And I think that's just such a benefit to our students and our entire community. So I'm really happy to hear that. So someone says, great to hear from such awesome students. I agree. So I guess we don't really have many other thoughts, but I know you probably do. And we're really grateful to have you here and with us. And we're really grateful to our students for participating in this and sharing your stories. And some of those were, some pretty heartfelt personal stories. And so we really do appreciate that. And it's so important to have that bond and that relationship between our donors and our students. So again, very thankful to all of you that are here. So without the actual tea and without the actual trumpets in person, it's inspiring for us all to get together and see the impact that is happening with our EOU family. So your faith in this university and its students is a legacy in itself. So each gift to a scholarship fund touches a multitude of lives and really has a ripple effect for our generations. So on behalf of our students, staff, administrators, everyone, thank you so much. I would also like to do a personal thank you to our AV crew, Gib, Devon, Evan, for all their work on this. This is our first go around, so really appreciate your help with that, as well as Jerry from our office, who's really made the scholarship awarding process happen. So, and with that, I will leave you to sip your tea and hopefully enjoy some remaining spring sunshine. And just one last thank you again. And if you have any questions about scholarship funds or other work that the foundation is doing, we would love to hear from you. We have put our contact information in the chat. And if there's anything else, let us know. So again, thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day. And we hope to see you soon, and go Mountaineers.